All right, my friends, welcome to another video lesson. In this lesson, we're going to be discussing basic music mixing for interview dialogue. So let's start off with the dialogue itself here in our timeline. If I solo that track, I just want you to see where the level is for our interview subject's vocal track.
My first experience of dancing was at a high school pep rally. I saw someone do a backflip, and I'm like, I thought that had to be done with wires.
So you can see it's living around that -12 area, a little bit below and a little bit above, and that's totally fine. I'd like you guys to concentrate on getting around that area. You're going to have some peaks that are a little higher, like this one.
About dance is
that peaked almost at -8 or so, and that's okay. I just don't want you to go over -6 ever. Try and keep it around that -12 range. So moving on to the music portion of this, you remember in the last lesson we had it mixed down to where it was around that -12 area. So that's where the level's going to start at the beginning of the song here. And then what we're going to do is dip it down underneath our interview subject's soundbite that he delivers and then raise it up after he finishes saying his piece. So let's listen to what happens here. Zoom in a little bit.
my first experience of dancing.
So you can hear it dips down as he's beginning to speak. It starts to dip before and it ends dipping after. And it's very important that you do it this way because it makes it sound very natural, very professional. It's like the interview subject's voice is taking over the music. It doesn't sound like the music gets out of the way first and allows him to speak or dips down afterward and cuts off the first few words of what he's saying. It happens simultaneously across the beginning of that bite. And that's what makes it sound natural. Let's play through that one more time.
My first experience of dancing was at a high school.
So when it's done that way, you don't really notice that it's happening. And that's one of the key factors in editing. Let's listen to the end now.
Be done by a high school student. I wanted to get into it.
Again, it's ramping up as he's finishing what he's saying.
I wanted to get into it.
And then it kicks into that second middle portion of the song where the music gets a little more involved. And then it's going to dip down again in preparation for him delivering his second soundbite.
The cool thing about dance is dance brings everyone together of all cultures, everyone relating to each other.
And then it'll come up at the end again.
And that's what got me hooked in.
Very naturally.
There have been times where I felt like quitting dancing with
Same thing there. So that's how this is done. Now you may be asking yourself, well, why are all these spaces in between the sound bites? Why are they there? Why aren't the sound bites butted up against each other? These are here so that we can build transitional montages, so that all of the statements are not run together in one continuous long bite. Instead, we get small periods of time to absorb what the subject has just said and to clear our minds and prepare for the next thing that he's going to say. It's also more visually interesting this way. So we'll be placing B-roll and images in these gaps in between the bites. And then we'll also have a montage intro here at the beginning before he delivers his first bite. And then at the end, we've got a little space left here so that we can have a call to action with our subject's social media information, a hashtag, and some images related to some of the visuals that we will have seen during this interview as the music plays out and tails off at the end. So it's basic keyframing throughout the piece here. So you may be asking yourself, well, how low do I go? There's no specific rule here, but let's solo. And at the beginning, we're in that -12 range. And as it dips down, it's around -24, -26, something like that. With dialogue that's around -12, cutting it by about -12, -14 really works so that you can still hear the music, but it's not competing with the dialogue that the interview subject is delivering. That's the last thing you want to do, is have the music overpower what they're saying, because it diminishes the importance of it. You really just want to deliver a vibe behind it. And that's what dipping to this level really does. So concentrate on getting your keyframing here, beginning before and ending after those soundbite beginning and end points, and just ebb and flow that music through the entire piece. It gets a little more difficult around the edit points. So you can see here, I can't just have a keyframe that starts here and ends here and then have it smoothly carry across an edit point. I have to actually put a couple of keyframes in there at the edit point itself. And you can see that if I zoom in really far, that's where they are. So that's a little more challenging, but I know you guys can do it. All right, my friends, that is basic music mixing for interview dialogue. And that does it for this video lesson. I'll see you again in the next one.